and welcome to Cyber UK TV. I'm Felicity Oswald, the Chief Operating Officer here at the National Cybersecurity Centre. It's day one of Cyber UK here in Manchester, and I'm just off the stage having had a plenary conversation with an amazing panel talking about the importance of cyber essentials in the UK, or global standards for cybersecurity being embedded in organisations big and small. So who better to talk to us about that exact topic than an Information Commissioner and a global CISO? I've got an amazing couple of guests here. I'll let them introduce themselves. John, hello. Can you introduce yourself for us?
Thanks, Felicity. Yeah, I'm John Edwards. I'm the Information Commissioner for the United Kingdom.
Thank you so much, John. And Mary, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Mary Haigh. I'm the Global CISO for BAE Systems.
Thank you so much, both. And thank you for being on the panel with me just now. The conversation we had was about, are we getting the basics right in the UK? And you were both pretty clear, as were the other panellists. No, not really, or no, not at all. Why are we in that position as the UK, do you think? What's your view? John?
Well, we've got a long way to go. The environment is changing. Legacy systems are not fit for purpose in many cases. And we see a lot of systemic underinvestment, I think. So I think getting cybersecurity onto the agenda in the boardroom is really essential. But probably nothing has achieved in that way more than the events of the last week being reported. And I think that some of the events we've seen in retail have probably done more for cybersecurity than anything we could do on our panel, to be honest.
Thank you. Mary, you're a global CISO of a huge organisation, but have an immense supply chain to worry about as well. What's your view in terms of why aren't we getting the basics right in the UK and beyond?
I think it is really hard. It's a hard grind. You've got an awful lot of systems, a huge amount of legacy that's really hard to challenge, to get in, and a lot of investment to get in there. And so there's a scale challenge around it. And there's also, as you said, that board engagement on it, that senior management engagement on it, isn't quite there. So, or isn't routinely there. So the knowledge, the understanding of technology and the importance of cyber resilience is embedded into boards in the way it is in other topics, like finance, for example, where it's an absolute given that they've got that knowledge. That's just not there at the moment. And so that makes influencing to drive the change really hard. Ultimately, it's a cultural change, and cultural changes across organisations are hard and take time and tenacity.
And you've embedded cyber essentials, I know, in BAE and working with your supply chain to encourage them to do the same. What are your lessons from that experience?
That you have to be kind of really clear on your messaging that this is mandatory and we're going to make the decision to do it. It's not optional. It's a license to operate thing. Kind of whether it is mandated to you or not, make the decision internally that you're going to do that. And set that tone at the board, at the management committee, at the IT managers, at the MDs in the businesses, right across the company. And that once you've done that bit, then you can get after things like investing in multi-factor authentication, investing in a team to do vulnerability management, where they just turn the handle. It's a machine of managing the patching effectively and prioritising that through. And then of going, do you know what? Obsolescence isn't acceptable. It's not okay. It's an unacceptable level of risk. And so it needs to appear in your budget. And we're not going to trade that out for anything else. It's going to be in there. So it's changing that mindset. And the benefits you can see starting to come through are really pleasing. It takes a bit of time, but we've seen an 8-fold reduction in our vulnerabilities. And that is measurable, tangible reduction in risk.
Amazing, thank you. And John, you talked on the stage about, obviously you talk to organisations all over the land dealing with these sorts of incidents, and you were super clear that this isn't a tick box. There's a framework, and it's about risk management and really, really active engagement. Can you tell us more about that?
It is. I mean, the obligation in law is set at a very general level. You've got to take adequate steps to protect the personal data that you have. Within that, every organisation has to do its own risk assessment. They have to right-size their response. So while Cyber Essentials has been really incredibly effective across a range of domains in raising the standards, it's never going to be enough just for a board to say, we'll have that and that's it, one and done. It's the obligation is to continually assess the risk environment, to continually raise the standard of awareness among staff, non-cyber experts, the vulnerable points of attack for threat actors, and just to keep apprised of all the emerging threats, all the patches, all the malware developments and the like, and make sure that you're across them.
Thank you. Mary, one of the things we talked about on the stage was what cybersecurity professionals can do. If there are people watching this at home thinking, if only my board took me seriously or more seriously, what would your advice to them be? How to get attention of your board and the rest of your organisation to get the investment you need for something like Cyber Essentials?
You've got to tell the story to your board about why cybersecurity matters, and it's got to hang together, and it's got to be consistent, and it's got to be engaging. And part of that is about educating them in what cybersecurity is. What are the pillars of cybersecurity? That is a whole of organisation responsibility to do it, not to just the cyber team. And keep going with it. Anytime there's an incident externally, I'll feed that story in and say, this is what happened to them, here's some learning. To take another example, we had an incident internally, which nothing came of it, but it was, if you like, a near miss. So zero-day vulnerability on a firewall, knew where that firewall is, nailed it, and patched it really quickly. The Chinese went after that within 42 minutes,
Wow.
right, from zero-day being published. So if you don't know where that firewall is, you're dead in the water. If your patching machine isn't working really well, you're dead in the water. So that 42-minute story I use quite regularly just to illustrate how much this has got to be bedded into the way that we work. You can't be working it out for the first time when the attackers come.
That's so powerful. John, you see organisations all the time that do this well or not so well. What's your view?
Well, look, I just want to echo what Mary said. Your question is, what can cybersecurity professionals do? It's tell those stories. It's say, look, I've just been on the Information Commissioner's website. They find 23andMe £5 million, and we are vulnerable to the same credential stuffing attack that created that vulnerability. So we need to act. Hackney Borough Council lost access to a huge number of files. DPP law firm lost terabytes of data and didn't see it going out. Yep. We can take action against these things. And when you make it real like that, when you present the risk, the lessons that have been learned in the context of your own business, well, if the board doesn't sit up and take notice, then I don't know, they've only got themselves to blame for what comes from it.
Yeah. And your website, I know, has loads of those stories on, and as Mary says, they're available in the cybersecurity press, but also on our website. And I'm sure most cybersecurity professionals have these examples internally too. So tell those stories, keep showing tenacity, and keep championing the right causes. Well, thank you both so much for joining us at Cyber UK TV. Thank you everyone for joining us at home. I hope you enjoy the rest of Cyber UK.
Thank you.